Good morning. Welcome to the South-Dade Shoutout, where we interview members of our South-Dade Chamber of Commerce and find out how they help make South-Dade the ideal place to live, work, play, pray, and thrive. My name is Richard Candia. I'm a business development manager for Florida Lamarck, a GC company based in Miami-Dade County. And today's guest is my friend Kenneth Wright. Ken is known and recognized worldwide as the health insurance savant. We'll ask him questions about that in a little while. But first, we invited him here to talk to us about and to invite all of you to the third annual Heroes Breakfast in honor of our first responders. Welcome, Kent.
Welcome. Thank you, Richard. Glad to be here.
I got to tell you that I admire you for having had the idea, the impetus to put this together 3 years ago. How did that come about? Why did you do this?
Yeah, Richard, I stole the idea.
Yeah, no, I get it. All the good ideas have been done.
Yeah, I stole the idea.
Still, you brought it down.
I've been a member of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce for years, as well as the South-Dade Chamber. And it had been one of the signature events they had done was their first responders Heroes Breakfast. I'd gone to it for a couple of years. And after seeing the response of the community to the first responders, but also how honored the first responders felt to be acknowledged, they always gave a big basket of gifts. And everyone and all first responders at this event that we run will also receive a basket of gifts from the community. But when I went up to talk to one of the first responders about getting the basket of gifts, their response was, it wouldn't even matter what we were given. Just the idea that we are being acknowledged for the work that we do is enough of an honor. And when I heard that, I thought to myself, there's a lot of other people out there besides the people on Miami Beach, the first responders there that need to be acknowledged. And I thought that's why we should consider doing it in South-Dade. And the Chamber thankfully took up the idea. And we've had a great event for the last 3 years.
The only reason chambers are able to do anything is because of people like you that really get involved and follow through on the ideas that they have. So thank you for that. What has been the most rewarding part of seeing this event grow in South-Dade?
The most rewarding, again, I think the biggest thing that has been enjoyable is seeing the number of people in blue that show up for the event. The event, acknowledges police departments, ER staffs, and fire and rescue right now. Those are our major three areas. Mm-hmm. And we have a space of probably 150 people. There'll probably be almost 100 people there that are all in blue. So the idea that they enjoy it and they feel honored. So it's not just the honorees, but it's also their team that comes. And that, to me, has been the most enjoyable part of the event.
So you've already kind of touched on this, but I remember, we all remember 30-some years ago when Hurricane Andrew hit primarily South-Dade, first responders, we depended greatly on the first responders. So that's the obvious. But the question I have for you is, why is it important for South-Dade as a region, South-Dade as an area, to have an event recognizing these people?
Well, I just don't think it's just South-Dade. I think that's what I was trying to explain earlier, is that I think it's something that it's easy to take first responders for granted. It's easy to think that, oh yeah, when my house catches on fire, someone's going to show up. Or if my car gets stolen, there's someone that's going to show up. Or if I need, we do the emergency rooms at both Jackson South and Homestead Hospital. They're honored. So if I get in a car wreck or if something happens to me, I can go to the ER and I'll be taken care of.
Right.
I mean, we take all that stuff for granted.
Right.
So I don't think the people in South-Dade take it more for granted than anybody anywhere else. But I think that in general, when we think about South-Dade, we often feel like, or people position us as the stepchild of Miami-Dade County. So I think that having this kind of event in South-Dade raises a profile of our first responders.
That's great. That's good. We didn't even practice. I like the response. Thank you, Ken. That was really nice. What have you learned about first responders as individuals, first responders as the kind of jobs that they do with your involvement? I mean, you're involved in a way that many of us aren't.
Yeah, I mean, I talk to all the departments, and I talk to representatives, chiefs of police, chiefs of fire, the ER people. I talk to them all. And I'd say that the one thing that is one thing about all of them is that they're just like you and me, Richard. They're no different than us.
I doubt that.
And that's something hard for people to understand, is that they are just like us. It's just that they have a different job. They've chosen this other type of job. But when they come home at the end of the day, they take off their pants, one leg at a time. They hang up their blouses in the closets. But when they have to, they do the job that they've agreed to do, that they volunteered to do, that they've signed up to do. And that's what we have to be thankful for. So anybody out there that's considering a life of service in this respect, you don't need to be a superhero right off the bat. You just need to be who you are and have a willingness to get out there. And I know that all of our first responder areas need more people to apply. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking about this, let this be a call to action for you.
Well, that's an interesting segue. When you've put together this this event for the last 3 years, I know you've had a chance to speak with first responders and their families. What do they comment to you after an event like this?
It's just about the same as I got from that first responder I spoke to in Miami Beach. The amount of thanks for being acknowledged. It's in a lot of ways a very thankless job. I mean, they get in, they're dealing with a crisis. When people are being taken care of or things are being done, sometimes the last thing on their mind is to be thankful. I mean, that's just not where they are or where they're going. Mm-hmm. So the idea that the community at large would come out and acknowledge them for the work that they're doing. And one of the cool things about the event is that it's not just honoring somebody because they've spent 15 years as a fireman or they spent 10 years in the ER. What we ask the team to do that puts together the honoree is to come up with a story that can be shared with the people that attend about an average day in the life of that first responder. Right. And the kind of things that they do that are reasons that they're acknowledged. Last year, there was a great story about someone, it was with the Miccosukee tribal police, and they had pulled someone over for a basic traffic infraction, and it ended up being a rescue for a child who had been kidnapped.
No kidding.
So those are the kinds of things that are going on out there in the community that we're just completely unaware of. And this gives the first responders a chance for their stories to be heard.
You mentioned something interesting now about the one that many of these places, many of these agencies are looking for new employees, for folks to dedicate themselves to that kind of lifestyle. I'm always struck by the skill sets that many of these people have. For example, not just the life-saving skill sets that they need to learn, like an EMT or whatever, but then there's coordination with other agencies, there's planning, there's disaster preparation. It's a really interesting, potentially very interesting way of life, professionally. How would you like to see this particular event grow?
Well, one thing is I'd love to see it become something that all members of the chamber would calendar each year. I mean, we all have things that we do, and I think for members of the chamber to I'll calendar it, and it become one of the big, most well-attended chamber events that we have. It's a signature event right now. We get good participation, but we could always get more.
I agree.
The other thing would be we've had some great response from some of the political bodies out there. We've had the commissioners of both District 8 and District 9, Danielle Cohen-Higgins and Kiani McGee, have both come out as sponsors, and we greatly appreciate that the governmental entities out there acknowledge the first responders, that their dollars, funding dollars, go towards supporting. Mm-hmm. We've also had really good response from some of the business community partners out there, from D.R. Horton to Florida Power and Gas, to Homestead Hospital. So I think that ideally, this becomes a fall event that everyone knows is going to happen in South-Dade. And we go from an incredible facility. Now we're at Mon Petit Garden, who again, for the third year, has donated their facility for us to use, the great, beautiful Echo Garden, Mon Petit Garden. And we have a capacity right now in the room that we're in at about 175 or so. I'd love us to outgrow that. I mean, I'd love to say at Mon Petit Garden, let's get a bigger space. But I mean, that would be it for it to grow and for more people to come out and acknowledge the work that's being done in our community to keep it safe, to keep us all happy.
Emily, could you please flash that on the screen, please? The information. It's on the 25th. It's breakfast, 8:30, and the information's there. We'll highlight that before we're done. What's a takeaway that South-Dade residents should have from attending this event? I mean, you've kind of already touched on many of those factors.
Again, like I said, is that the takeaway would be, again, twofold. One is that these people are doing this because this is their job and they're proud of the work that they do. And it's not enough to it's not just responding to calls or doing whatever. They're proud to be members of these organizations. They're proud to be firemen. They're proud to be policemen. They're proud to work in ERs. And I think that seeing that, it's a beautiful thing.
The firefighters, the police officers, it's not just them either. It's a family. It's usually a family affair. In other words, the firefighters going, you have a family unit that's supporting them, that's worried about them, that also kind of understands.
Yeah, the honorees are everyone is welcome to bring as many family members as they want to. And I think that's also, Richard, I really do think that's a great point to bring up, is that the families are at risk, right, by the work that their spouses or partners do. And I think seeing them acknowledged, I think goes a long way towards a family.
Almost more for the family than for the individual.
Exactly. It makes a family very, very proud that their father or mother or sister or brother or aunt or uncle are being acknowledged, or grandfather, grandmother, are being acknowledged by the community. Yeah. I think that is, I think that's something that's really powerful.
They, and it's not so much, there's not a fire on every street every day, but the fact that they're there ready. The fact that they're there ready to jump in at a moment's notice. So they're always on pins and needles, I guess. I mean, that's one way to kind of look at it. The call, the alarm, whatever, it's a stressful kind of way of life. And I could say, what have you learned about the turnover? A person dedicates themselves to this field, to this job. Do they make a life career out of it? Do they tend to stay in that job? What have you learned about the professionals?
I really can't speak to an awful lot in that area, but I'd say that most of the people that I talk to and most of the people that I deal with are people that have been in it for the long haul, or because of the honors that they're getting, it's something that they're dedicating themselves to.
And that's where I'm going to push back on you a little bit. I don't think they're like you and me. Well, certainly not like me. The dedication that they have, it's the job. Maybe at some point it was a thrill or whatever, but it is something that they have dedicated themselves to. That's my perception of the folks that I have met, and I agree with you. I think that most of them are in there for the long haul. Your event last year, I was able to go. The first 2 years I had a conflict, and I met and I spoke to quite a number of the folks that were there attending. Some of the honorees, but a lot of the folks that were attending, as you said, the teams like to see their team members being recognized, so they go. That's part of the bigger family.
Right.
A lot of the folks were young firefighters, young police officers, and they were in it for the long haul. There was something, I don't know if it was a dream. And to your earlier point, if it's something that you think that might be attractive to you, go and talk to these folks, because then you'll know. I got to tell you, thank you for including me as like people like you and me, but I don't know. I think they're special people.
Well, you're too old to apply anyways. So don't worry, man.
I was thinking about it.
They're not going to be taking you.
Gosh,
I think it's 35.
This turned out nice. Now it's depressing all of a sudden. Thanks a lot,
age
Ken.
out at 35.
So let's.
I think you're aged out a couple of times already.
People don't pay attention to Ken. Do not pay attention to Ken. Details of the breakfast. Let's go into that a little bit, please.
Yeah. Well, the event. We start 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. People show up. I mean, we have an incredible caterer that's providing the food. El Toro Steakhouse, and it's being co-sponsored by them and By Brothers, the breakfast. Mm-hmm. They're sponsoring the breakfast, so we're very excited about the spread that's going to be there. It's not going to be not that there's anything wrong with pastelitos and coffee, but we go beyond that.
Right.
This is really a full breakfast that's provided for the guests and the first responders and their families and teams. So we start off with everybody getting there and getting some breakfast. There's a lot of shaking hands and all that kind of stuff that always happens. The event itself, each of the honorees from the various departments and organizations will be presented by one of their supervisors, who will share a story about why that person has been honored. Mm-hmm. Then there'll be an opportunity for the sponsor to do photo ops, of course, with the first responder and the presenter. So it's really that simple and straightforward. I mean, it is we don't have a red carpet. You know, people aren't walking up, which we probably should think about getting a red carpet, get red carpet photos. That's actually another good idea. But we don't have that. But what we do have is this is an award honoring ceremony. It's not stuffy, but it's very enjoyable because some of these stories are really interesting and fun. And that's it. We're in there at 8:30. We're out by 10. So
I have to, when we're looking at these list of sponsors, in the same manner that we talked about earlier, how you became involved because of something you had seen somewhere else, any chamber does not work unless our members get involved.
Right.
Again, kudos to you, because this was an idea that you had actually 4 years ago, and it took a year to get things rolling, and you just didn't let it go. And I'm looking at our list of sponsors: Pelias Law, By Brothers, Homestead Hospital, FPL, Monarch. These are folks that are every time, and it goes beyond just trying to get your company recognized. It's just really they see it as a thing of the community. This is a community event.
Well, the ones that you named, I'm glad you named those, because these are not big companies like D.R. Horton.
No,
the ones you named are the mom and pop small businesses that really make up the backbone of the chamber. Mm. And to have them participate and have them come out and sponsor the event is incredibly important to the success of the event, number one.
Yeah.
I mean, we have probably, like I said, we'll probably have close to 80 or 90 first responders and team members there. They're paying nothing for this event, right? So figure that we're feeding almost 100 people. So this event and giving them all these gifts and the venue and all this stuff is all provided by the largesse of our sponsors. So without them, we couldn't have the event this way.
Right.
So it's, very, very happy with the response.
Let's go a different direction just for a brief moment. Back to, for somebody attending the Heroes Breakfast for the first time, what do you hope they walk away with? A feeling? What do you think?
All I really would be the same thing that I walked away with when I first went, which was a sense of thankfulness. And I think that every day, and not every day, but every time now that I see somebody that I know is working in that type of field, I thank them. And so just the idea that means a lot to the people that are doing this work. It means a lot to be acknowledged and thanked. So I think I'd want anybody that attends the event to see how much it means to those members.
And to just see them. As you said, they're around us every day, and sometimes we just don't see it. It's just part of the scenario.
Well, you see the fire department's always in there at the grocery store filling up their big, filling up those big cups, man. They're like getting ready to do the big cook and whatever.
But okay, this is about serving the community, folks, to protect the community. But your job day to day is kind of similar. Let's talk a little bit about the health insurance savant.
Well, it's interesting because I did some work this year on figuring out why I do the work that I do, and I did a deeper dig. And so for me, it's really clear that every person counts, and everybody should be treated with dignity. And I believe that health insurance and life insurance are fundamental rights that people should have. The right to receive health care and the right to be able to protect their assets with life insurance. So that's why I do what I do, is I make sure that, and again, everyone can get health insurance. You just got to know how to do it. So if anybody ever has any trouble out there or has any questions about how they can make sure they can get it for themselves or their company, they can reach out to me. And everyone should find a way to protect their assets and their family. That's what life insurance does. So for me, it's fundamental to who I am and what I believe in. I've seen
how you take time to speak to folks, and you give all of your time to whoever has the questions for you. And I really have appreciated that. So it's always been a joy to.
It's funny you bring that up because I would say one of the things, and I don't think this is against the insurance regulations to say, but insurance agents aren't paid for their information and advice. I can talk to someone for an hour and a half about what they need, and unless they buy something, I don't get paid. Even though I've consulted with them for an hour and a half.
Right.
So, and I don't resent that. I would love to get paid for that, but I don't resent that because that's what's really important is people understand. And not only that, but the bigger part of an insurance agent's job, if they're doing their job right, or a life insurance job, is once they've sold a policy, their work begins then. I tell everyone that I work with that if you ever have any questions or any concerns, I'm your first phone call, not the insurance company. And I will make sure that I exhaust all of my resources before I ever refer you back to the insurance company. So that to me is critically important, that people know that it's more than selling a policy, it's servicing it and taking care of the person afterwards.
A lot of people don't do that.
A lot of people don't do that.
A lot of folks in your position.
A lot of folks in my business don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. One piece of advice you could give then to somebody regarding health coverage or just the idea of planning ahead?
What I'm going to say right now is that the ACA, which is the Affordable Care Act, that marketplace, if you purchase insurance through the marketplace, you're an individual, it's going to get big shakeup this coming fall. And so just be aware of that. All rates are expected to go up this year. The ACA rates or marketplace rates could go up 20, 30, 40% this year because of some subsidies that are going to be midnighted by the end of the year. So don't wait. And also realize that you're not going to get an automatic renewal this year if that's what you have been getting. And for any companies out there, there are some incredible programs available right now that can provide payroll tax relief for you if you reach out regarding, and you'll get a wellness program included in it. And anyways, there's just a lot of good stuff out there.
Really
if you don't have someone that you're talking to in an ongoing way about this, I think the most frustrating thing for me is that people that sign up, a company that signs up to get health coverage, and a renewal comes in, and they might call me because they're are unhappy with the percent increase. But talk to whoever's doing this for you. You know, I mean, I want you to come to me. I'd love to be able to get your business, but it's the same way with my clients. Go to your agent, go to your broker, have a conversation to find out why things are happening the way that they are.
Love it.
Rather than just spinning out. I think we all need to be informed consumers, and hopefully that's something that if people talk to me that are my clients or prospects, they'll say that, yeah, I want them to be informed consumers.
So for anybody that needs your assistance, call the chamber. We'll connect you with Ken. Again, anytime we talk about this, the importance of being an informed consumer always comes out. You always resonate. You're very consistent, and I'm
easy to find. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on TikTok. The Health Insurance Savant is everywhere.
You have that trademarked? Is that a thing?
I was told I couldn't trademark my name, but you know. So, anyways,
well, let's wrap this up one more time. Let's go through the highlights. September 25th. September 25th. At Maupetit. There is. Can you flash that up there, please, Emily?
Maupetit Garden.
There's the information is there. The information is also on the South-Dade Chamber website. I'm sure if you Google First Responder Appreciation Day, South-Dade First Appreciation Breakfast, it will come up. There's many ways to get the information. Doors open at
8:30.
8:30.
Probably a little bit before, but right around then. And if you know any first responders in the South-Dade area, this event really is honoring or acknowledging first responders from Cutler Bay, including Cutler Bay, down to Homestead in Florida City, all the way down to the end of Miami-Dade County. So if you know anybody in those communities that is a first responder, number one, make sure they know about the event, and number two, thank them.
Thank you. That's good.
You know, if just in general, if you could just thank them, and hopefully see you at the event.
Yeah, I wish you great success. I'll be there, of course. I hope now I'm going to be paying attention to who's an obvious first timer, both first responder that's going there for the first time, and maybe somebody from the community. Maybe one of the sponsors sends a staff person. I'd like to see their reaction, and maybe you and I can take turns to talk to some of the folks, some of the attendees. I keep on saying folks, some of the attendees, and see what their reaction to the event is. I got to tell you, when I went, it was very moving, and these people really feel that what they're doing matters. I can't say that for everybody else that has a job. Sometimes you have a job and it's a job. For them, it's a mission.
It is.
You know? Anyway, thank you, Ken, for the time. It's always good to see you.
You're very welcome, Richard. It's always good seeing you, buddy.
Please mark your calendar. September 25th is the third annual First Responders Appreciation Day breakfast. And Ken is also a servant as well as a savant, health insurance savant. He's a servant, and he doesn't like when I say this, but I really thank him for having the impetus to bring this to the South-Dade Chamber, to bring this to our community. So September 25th, Mon Petit, doors open at 8:30. And if you can't make it, open your eyes. The first responders, the people that we depend on, the people that are there ready to move are all around us. Reach out and give them a hand. Say thank you. Thanks again, Ken. All right. Have a good day.